72 hours, over 200 persons were pied in Benue, and all of a sudden, our very high and mighty Sultan has gone silent. At this stage, the Sultan has not uttered a word, but we know the reaction when the issue of the Urumi happened. We know the reaction when the heat on social media is exposing the Fulani marauding terrorists. That in fact, it took the Sultan to come out and say social media is a terrorist organization. However, not a video voice tape recording. Nothing. We have not heard anything from the Sultan. Those that have been fingered, being accused for committing these atrocities are the terrorist Fulani elders, and not one word from their national Islamic religious leader. Well, let us watch what Oyedepo has to say, then we'll continue our analysis.
Fulanis don't own Nigeria. I don't have a Fulani root. I'm a born and bred Nigerian. I don't have a visa to be here. Who called you owners of the land? Fake. This is not Fulani Republic of Nigeria. It's Federal Republic of Nigeria. Palo Seku Pradesh Salaga. What? You entered the church. You gave 50 people. And you think you'll be free?
Come back. When we begin to have pastors like Oyedepo in numbers, okay, not the hypocrites, those ones that will tell you somebody shout hallelujah, not those ones, not the ones that will tell us pray for the people of Benue. At this stage, we do not want men of God that are hypocrites. At this stage, some men of God who went to the street of Lagos some 10 years ago, a period of 10, 11, 12 years ago, carrying placards, they actually galvanized the members of their church to join them in that Lagos Ganifa Army Freedom Park to protest against Jonathan. Why? Because Jonathan just simply removed subsidy that Tinubu today has removed. But all of them today are telling us that pray for the people of Benue, pray for Nigeria so that God will come down and fight terrorism. Right? And we must call them out for their hypocrisy. But the pastors are not the topic of discussion for this program. You see, when I tell you people that the Fulanization of agenda has been reignited, a victim, someone who had his friends and family members, a young guy that this guy was in Benue just 2 months ago. He came from America because he just finished his property. This guy was in the church in Benue, right, to just celebrate, give testimony, and he was there to rejoice with the people of that Yele Tower village. In that ceremony that he anchored and held, nothing less than 150 people were there. And 80% of those people that attended this party today are no more. It is a sad situation. If anybody who loves the human lives, right, must speak right now, because your people are being fingered. The Benue youth now have said that they are declaring war against anything Fulani elders. If anybody ought to be speaking, if anybody ought to be in Benue State today, the one person that we must see is the Sultan. Because there's this conception that the Fulanis are carrying out what we call Islamic jihadism. The Sultan cannot feign ignorance. He cannot, at this stage, pretend like he is deaf and dumb. No, he cannot stay away. He cannot be feigning neutrality. Because I know that he came out, he spoke against the Irumi killings. We saw so many senators, so many House of Reps that even have nothing to do with this thing. They were all lamenting. They were all on the floor of Senate passing motions upon motions that those children must be brought back. Statements like one soul of a northerner is worth 50 souls of the southerners. Now, we started hearing such rhetorics. We started hearing it. But here we have it. 200 Benue. What am I saying? Why am I discounting them? Over 250 persons. Cold-blooded. Machete. Yet, the most powerful Fulani man in Nigeria, the Sultan, the most powerful Islamic cleric in Nigeria, the Sultan, whom his children have been fingered, have been accused of carrying out these killings, he cannot say a word. Because I expected the Sultan to say that if truly the perpetrators, when the Nigerian army realized this, then they should do nothing but kill them. If the Sultan sincerely wants a quick end to this, the Sultan must add his voice to back the Nigerian soldiers. He must add his voice to back the Nigerian police. He must add his voice to the Nigerian presidency. Because I know that if the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, or the Benue youth begins to take laws into their hands, okay, and they start one by one man marking any Fulani header they see, they query it, they see anything that looks like an arm, they deal with him. Yes, the Sultan will not forever remain quiet. He will speak up in that instance. Look at what the General Mustafa Christopher said. He said, what is going on in Benue is for three things. He said, one, the Fulani herders want to expand because of what? Of graze. They need grazing areas where their cattle can graze. Secondly, is religious matter. Okay? And then thirdly, he said political issues. Now, when you have two matter out of three, you cannot major on the minor. Well, we know that the politicians are using those two remaining factors to divide the people, to kill, unalive the people, so that they can have their own way. They know that some guys already have an eye on the what? The greenery areas, the very fertile land of Benue. They know that some people have an agenda because Benue, if I'm going to be frank with you, Benue is they are 90% Christians. I have a boy, an artisan, that I asked to work with me sometime. He said he came to Lagos last 4 years. That was when he knew about Islam. That he has never seen a mosque. And this is a guy in Benue, he call it, I think, Egede. Yellowater is a Christian society. That community, that village is a Christian society. It's indeed a Christian society. You know, so these killings are strategic. They are not happening just for happening's sake. I am not going to say that these things are communal clash. No. The very famous communal clash that happened between the Modakeke and Ife. And many people die. And that was obvious because it was because of land boundaries, setting their territories. This belongs to me, this belongs to me. And they fought. And that war or that riot lasted for how many days? And afterwards, we've never had anything like that. The simple thing the federal government did was, okay, let us divide this way. Let us take 50% from this. Let us take 50% from this. Yes, but these are the same tribes. They are the same what? The same tribal guys fighting. Everybody knows this. Everybody didn't come out to say that it was an external force that is encroaching their land. No, everybody knew that these were the same brothers fighting over land issues. It's as simple as that. The Modakeke people and the Ife people, they are brothers from the same father, the same mother. However, they had a land dispute and it has been settled. But the issue of Benue, because what this nothing else, most of them, what they tell you is it is the indigenous Fulanese in Benue. I have had so many interactions with Benue people. I have had so many conversations with Benue people. I have asked them that, can you tell me the areas where Fulanese are indigenous to Benue? And what they tell me is there was never a time. Yes, they can settle. They come, they acquire land, we give them land. Anybody can settle because this is Nigeria. A Yoruba man, an Igbo man can go to Benue. In fact, we have so many Yorubas and Igbos in Makurdi that have settled. They bought land, built their businesses, built their homes, living in peace. But he said, these guys, they come in the past, they come, they don't pay by cash, they give us a cow, one or two cattle, and then we give them a land. Okay, they stay there, graze your cattle for a period of maybe 6 months or 1 year. You have access to water. But all of a sudden, they just stopped that. They never wanted to pay anymore. They felt that they are federal government property. They felt the very moment, and I think this issue started reoccurring right from that 2015. Yes, the very moment Buhari became the president, the level of emboldenment this Fulani marauding terrorists got, wherein so many governors came out and said that they deserve to have a gun, that the cows that they are carrying are multi-million and they have to protect themselves against cattle rustlers, that they have right to bear cutlass, Dane guns, and from there they upgraded to AK-47. In fact, a governor came out and said that the Fulani is a global citizen. He has every right to walk into any place. So you see the issue. You see the foundational issues. You see how they became. So they felt that this place has grass. This place has forest. We want to be able to live here. We want to be able to eat here. We want to be able to have our own family here. And then these people are resisting. Let us just wipe them out. After all, who's going to question us? After all, we have been made to believe that we are federal government Peking. Do you know how the federal government of Nigeria reacts when one cattle dies? Do you know how the state government reacts when a Fulani series of cattle die? I mean, I saw a video about maybe 10 to 40 cattle died. They were trying to cross a river in Benue. And I'm scared for the Benue people. Let's watch that video. And after that, we will listen to what the army staff, then that very guy I told you about, who did a testimony. And right now, nothing less than 100 persons that attended his ceremony are gone. Let's watch it together.
More than 200 people were killed. When I woke up this morning and I got the story of what happened, the first 7 calls I put across were all killed. The first 7 guys I called.
You tried to call, we're all dead.
Exactly. They were all dead. So in my village today, if you speak to someone, just be very rest assured that in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, you hear the sad news about that person you've just spoken to. And do you know, before now, just last month, about 20 people were killed in that same village. They are the Fulani, and it's not ethnic profiling. They are the Fulani, it's not ethnic profiling. When people want to be politically correct, they will say, no, that is an ethnic, it's not, and that is why you see the Sultan of Sokoto will not react to this. He reacted when just about 11 people were butchered were killed in Edo State, the so-called hunters. They reacted. They put up Northern Elders Forum. They made several press conferences. Many governors stood up. The governor of Edo had to travel to some of these states to go and say sorry. Just 11 hunters, that is alleged hunters, if really they were hunters, who were killed. Now 200, nobody in the north is speaking. Because that is the collective agenda. Jihad and the complete takeover of the land of our people. And let me tell you, so I'm saying it authoritatively. I'm an authority in this area. I was born and raised in Jos. I speak Hausa as my first language. I speak Hausa better than I speak Tiv. And let me tell you, this thing they call intelligence. We are the sources of this intelligence. The government sometimes use the narrative of intelligence to confuse you, as if what they know is different. They know exactly what we know, or we even know better. Because we are the sources of this intelligence. Many of my friends from the adjoining villages in Nasarawa State, who are of different ethnic group other than the Fulanis. Anytime the Fulanis are mobilizing, like this attack, they told us day before yesterday. We communicated to the security force. Nothing has been done. They communicated to us.
No, just hold on, because this is too much.
Fulani cows dying in thousands along River Benue, opposite Achepe and Nasarawa. They were trying to cross from Benue side to Nasarawa side. And many are dying. You can see them in numbers crossing. And when you turn to this side, you see the number crossing. I'm a living witness, watching them crossing from Benue in thousands.
Now, from my own view, what I have observed, two basic things, or three basic things. One, issue of land, indigenous, non-indigenous, critical, which is political. That is supposed to be sorted out politically. Secondly, the issue of the movement of animals. I have told people over time that when they say farmer herders clash means two things are moving. But if a farm is standing and an animal comes in, it's not a clash. It's somebody entering somebody's property. So we must find solutions to how, which means if the animals don't move, we don't have issues. Now again, because of that, again, we have issues of rustling of animals. Which means if we don't even rustle animals again that are moving, again, there won't be most of this problem happening. So those are the three critical aspects that we must be able to address clearly. And like I said, most of it is political solution that needs to come into it. Because it's not what the military can solve. What we can stop is to try and stop people from attacking each other.
Is it correct at this moment for a herdsman to enter our farms, violate our women, violate our daughters, destroy our yams that is our only source of livelihood, and then when you shout, you are killed, your pregnant women are ripped open, and then somebody says it's tribal intolerance? I don't understand. I don't get it. And then when the governor and all the stakeholders, the political class, the traditional rulers, everybody in Benue State come together and say the solution to this problem is a bill, is ranching, then somebody says it is wrong. I don't get it. There is sympathy on the side of the herdsmen. We have said there is land for you in Benue, but not for open grazing. Come and take land, pay for it, ranch your cows. We are not saying we don't want you in Benue State. We are not saying don't come to Benue. We are saying come to Benue and take this land, pay for it. I have not seen a Yoruba man going to Kano to take land for cocoa free of charge. I have not seen. I have not seen a chief man going to Plateau or even Kwara to take land to farm his yams for free. These are businesses, for crying out loud. Cow herdsmen, this is business. Our yams are business. That is where we get money to feed our people. That's where we get money to take them to pay our children's school fees. So, if you are taking this matter, it is better to take it wholly. Don't look at it from your own side that a deal has been made, therefore it is anti a particular group of persons. It is not. I want to make it clear that I am a victim. They have killed my people. They haven't killed your people. They haven't killed others. I'm talking from a position of pain. I'm talking of, we have a youth leader in one of my local governments was killed, slaughtered, his tongue and his private part removed. We know what we are talking about by herdsmen. Is that political intolerance? I mean, is that tribal intolerance? You sit in the comfort of your house. Somebody comes to kill you. The man was in his house. So, when we are contributing to issues like this, we shouldn't contribute to things that will inflame the situation. We are talking from positions that we have pains. Somebody should not come and add salt to injury.